Hey guys, this video is going to be some things that I don't like about my car. It is a 2006 BMW 330xi, but before I get started I just want to say that I absolutely love this car. It's a dream to be able to have this, but there are some things that I don't like about it that might be important if you're considering buying one of these, so I'll go over those. So the first thing that I don't like, this car doesn't have an oil dipstick, which might sound kind of crazy that you can't like physically check your oil, but if you think about it, the type of person who's going to be buying this car new for $40,000-$50,000, they're probably never going to open the hood the entire time that they own it. It's just an example of them using technology to fix a problem that wasn't really a problem. It's kind of like just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. And I've actually heard that on the new ones they brought the dipstick back, which is cool. But for this one, you don't have an actual oil dipstick to check your own oil. There are sensors and there's a menu where you can kind of check the oil level if you want to believe that. But for me, I find that as long as I change the oil when I'm supposed to, and I use the proper oil weight and the recommended oil that's in the book, I haven't had any problems. Another thing that I don't like is the real-time MPG gauge. It's not accurate. Basically, whenever your foot is on the gas pedal, it's going to read 12 mpg no matter what. And as soon as you take your foot off the gas, it's going to show 50, 60 mpg, which obviously that's not real. The really annoying thing is that right next to it, you have an average MPG gauge, which is far more accurate and far more useful. So why they would waste the space on the actual gauge to show that real-time needle that just flops back and forth the whole time you're driving, it's kind of useless. Right, another thing that I don't like is how expensive it is to maintain. And I know this is a BMW, a used one at that, so you have to kind of realize what you're getting into when you buy one of these. But for example, the other day my low coolant light came on, and you can't just go to AutoZone and get regular coolant. You actually have to buy special BMW brand coolant that is formulated specifically for these engines because it is less corrosive and it's supposed to help out the longevity. It's like $10 more than regular coolant, but considering the risk versus reward, you know, if what they say is true and it does cause damage putting regular coolant in, that's not a risk that I wanted to take, especially for $10 that I would have saved. So after the light came on, I had to go online and I had to order this special coolant. It took like 3 days to come in the mail and it was like 30 some dollars. So that's just one example of the cost of ownership. Everything is expensive, including the fluids. Another thing that I don't like is the stalks around the steering wheel. They all look and feel very similar. I often confuse the cruise control for the high beams, which obviously people don't like when I do that on the freeway, especially at nighttime. I get the middle finger sometimes, sorry. And also the windshield wipers. I have no idea how it works because the stock for it is just so complicated. Luckily, it's got a automatic rain sensing wipers, so I can just press that button and it takes care of the rain. But as far as the actual stock and manually doing that, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up a half click, a full click, and it's also got a dial that controls the speed. It's just too confusing and too complicated, so I just press the auto button and that takes care of it. Another thing that I don't like is the cup holders in this car. They're just very small and kind of useless if you have like a larger drink. I find that sometimes bigger drinks will actually tip over and spill if you're not careful, if you accelerate suddenly. A lot of times if I've got a big cup in there, I'll actually have the passenger keep an eye on it and make sure that it doesn't tip over. I wouldn't really say that that's a flaw because I don't really have drinks in the car that often, but if you're the type of person that loves to have a huge drink, you're probably going to have some issues with this car. And the last thing that I want to bring up that I really didn't like about this car when I first got it were the tires that came with it. It came with Bridgestone run flat tires. A lot of BMWs come with run flats. I know a lot of other car companies have moved away from them, but basically run flat tires, the ride quality was extremely harsh. You felt every little imperfection in the road. and they were really noisy. And when I upgraded my wheels and I got standard like all season tires, non-run flats, it completely changed everything about the car. It made it a lot more pleasant to drive, a lot more pleasant to be in. They're much quieter. They just soaked up little imperfections in the road a lot better than the run flats. Also, run flat tires are extremely expensive to replace. So that's the main reason that I didn't get run flats when I got my wheels, just because I simply couldn't afford the run flats. But I think getting the standard tires was the right choice for me. And that's pretty much everything that I don't like. Like I said before, I absolutely love this car. It was kind of hard for me to nitpick and find things that I didn't like. But if you're considering getting one of these cars, at least for me, the good things that I like about this car far outweigh the little things that I don't like that I can look past. So yeah, that's just my opinion on a few things that I didn't like about my car.